Fixing to put some oil in this big cast iron skillet. It should start running around in the pot in the bottom, and that tells me this thing's hot enough to go ahead and take this big old joker. I'm going to take that bone side down first and just let it sear, and I'm going to flip it around to all the sides, the ends, brown them. And can't really do a whole lot about browning inside there because you can't really get to it. But when I turn it down into the pan, I'm going to put a little water to cook in it and cover it with foil so it retains all its moisture. And at the low temperature, maybe 3.5 to 4 hours. I don't think it'll take that long, but I'm going to check the temperature. And when we get it right, we're going to take it out, see what it looks like. About to take a look at this first side. It's probably pretty good. Oh yeah, that's looking fine. So I'm going to go ahead and just flip it over like this. Hold it where it sticks a little bit so it don't want to roll down. And work on the next side. Alright, I got the second side seared. I'm going to do a quick roll over and let you see that. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this thing and stand it up and get this in. And once I get that in, I'm going to catch these rib ends and then on the back a little bit, and we'll have it ready to put in the oven after I sear that top piece. Yeah, this is the rib part. It's going to be a little difficult to sear. I could take hot oil and pour it in there to kind of get a little brown on it, but I'd have to put a little bit more in the pan. I don't really want to do that. It'll cook just fine like it is. About to stand up and get the other end, and this thing will be ready to put in the oven. See how it's nice and seared all the way around, but you can still see on the inside there the uncooked meat. But out here you got a nice crispy. Got a light issue here, y'all. Let me get this thing more to the front of the pan. You can see how cutting it away from that bone has helped out. It'll help the cooking process. I'm going to set it down on the rib side now, and it's ready to put in this blue glass pan here, and I don't know what you call it, but it's pretty. See, it's steaming. I'm pouring a little water in here, calm it down a little bit, break those juices off of the frying pan. And what I'm going to do is take them, get them back, and when I put the roast in here, I'm going to take these juices and pour it down in the bottom of that pan, and it'll help add good flavor when this thing's roasting in the oven. I'm going to go ahead and stick it in the pan now. I'm going to allow the rib rack in there to be what I stand it up on, just like that. And I'll go ahead and get me a little something here to scrape these goodies. Kind of smoked up the house a little bit there right at the end. I'm good at doing that. I wish I had another Gin Air to suck all that stuff out. That's the good stuff. You just take it just like it is, first round, pour it right over. We'll set this right off to the side. About halfway through, we'll take the rest of that, put on it, but we're going to cover it with foil and stick it in the oven and get this thing going. That is, a piece of foil is big enough. Don't have to be covered extremely tight, just got to get it covered. Woo, barely made it. I use this little toaster convection oven. It's a wonderful thing. Toaster makes it. It'll hold these size dishes. You can hold a 12-inch pizza pan. You can make a pizza in that thing. But that's it. We're just going to let it go for a few hours and check temperature. And when it gets to 170, we're going to pull it out and let it sit and rest, and we're going to eat. I just checked. It's been 90 minutes. We're right at about 100 degrees on temperature. I bumped it up to 325 and probably let it run another 90 minutes. We're going to check and see what we have on the internal temperature. And the last little bit, I'm going to take that juice left over and pour over the top of it and take the foil off so we can get a nice crispy brown outside also. But that's where we're at. Out. Take the foil off, check the temperature, see how it's doing, and set it right over here in this. That line just like all messy. Alright, we're getting up around 140. Let's turn this thing into the light a little bit. Maybe you can see we're on about 140 right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this juice, pour over it, hit it under the broiler for just a little while to get all the rest of this goodness nice and crisp. We're up to about 145, so it's not very far away. I'm going to go ahead and give it the rest of this that we've had sitting on the side over here. Alright, we're going to hit broil, and I'm going to put this timer up on 30 minutes and we're just going to watch it. When it turns nice and crispy, we're going to pull it out, let it cool, and let my daughter Ruby get in here. Say hi, Ruby. She's gonna act shy, but that's all right. But we'll check it here again in about 15-20 minutes. All right, we're about to pull this thing out. It just dinged, so we're gonna get an internal temperature on it. Oh my goodness gracious, it looks good. Get it right in the middle of the meat. We're hitting up past 150 now. We're getting up to 160. We put a 10 on this thing and let it sit. It's still climbing. Almost to 160. 160 is good for me because what it does is when you tin it, it will rise even higher while it's first coming out of the oven. So we'll put some foil over it and let it rest. Alright, I'm setting it underneath the light here so y'all can see that it has almost risen at a little over 10 degrees. It's almost 180 now. You can see the steam coming out. That's just moisture redistributing, and it's about ready to get pulled off of here and sliced up. So that's what we'll be doing next, slicing. You know, it'll help you realize if it's done or not. See how these bones are pulling back off from the meat? Everything right here, that right there is a good indicator that you got some done meat. And you try to get it away from the bone towards the center, and that way you know the exact middle in there is warm enough to be able to be ready to eat. We're going to take a little of this juice down here and just kind of let it go over the top here, just to add a little juicy goodness to it. Make it beautiful. We're about to get it on the cutting board, and I'm going to cut the bone out of it, and then we're going to slice it up. You notice I just had the little oven go off. My wife's putting some mixed vegetables in there with a nice buttery sauce with cheese, and I'm going to melt the cheese all over the top of it. So that's why we're dinging back there, because it's probably done. Yeah, that's a pork roast, buddy. It's got a bone in it, yep. It's a sirloin roast. Kind of goes to the center cut right there. What? Alright, I'll put you down. Alright, Mommy. Alright, I'm fixing to take this bone and cut it out from the meat. And then we'll start slicing it. What I'm going to do, I got my son behind me coming up crying. He's upset because he wants to play a purple tablet. And he's having trouble getting... Yeah, we'll get you a purple tablet in a minute, buddy. As soon as I get this done, I'll get back to slicing up the meat. So, let me go take care of my son so I can get him to stop crying. Here it is. Cut off the bone. We're just about to finish up the last part. You see there ain't a whole lot of meat left on that, but you can save that and make stocks and things like that out of it. All we're going to do now is I'm going to get my big knife out, and I'm going to start working from this end going this way, slicing it thinly to make some nice juicy tender. Look at all the juice there. And if we wanted to, we could just separate these ribs and eat them, because that's delicious. Putting a little bit of edge on the knife. You got to be careful. In the past, I've cut the ends of my fingers off doing this. The last time I did it, I was pulling like this, and my pinky finger got up there, and I went whap, and chopped the whole end of it off. And I chopped the end of my thumb off one time, cutting pork chops on a saw at work when I worked in a meat department. That one wasn't a fun day. It didn't bleed at first, but once I got out of the meat room and things started warming up, then you always want to wipe your knives, because you'll get a little residue from your sharpening. And once you do that, then you're ready to cut. What I'm going to do here is these ends, they're probably going to fall kind of apart because it's the sirloin end. But as I come more this way, they'll slice really good because they are turning into the center chop. Probably get you to go on the other side with the camera so you can see the first few cuts over here, because I am left-handed. So I'll take these and just start with little thin cuts like that. And if you look, you see all that juice? That's a wonderful piece of meat right there.
And if you listen, you can hear my stomach growling. Oh.
That's my wife, Amy.
Oh.
She's ready to eat this. Cut some a little thinner, a little thicker. Get some that I'm gonna go ahead and pull this back. And if you come back around this other side, you can just look and see how juicy that is right there. You can see it running down as I press the knife blade on it. That is a marvelous piece of meat. I'm gonna take a piece of it right here and just pull it apart with your hand. Don't need a knife. My wife wants a piece of it.
Yep.
So there it is.
So cool.
Half loin, pork loin from the shoulder, the sirloin I mean, to the center cut. And it turned out delicious. So watch me. I'll be doing more.